can't see, but they can.
I do not own the copyrights to none of these songs, but I do love music, and it helps me to vibe and to talk to you all. And then my emotions will start flowing. But music helps me get the kickstart going. You already know I'm not going to wait. I don't wait. I don't have time to wait. I'm your baby. Well, let me get myself up here. Sure. Hold on, y'all. There we go. You know, I already got to get my stuff right. There we go. Now I already got to get my stuff right. There we go. Now I already got to get my stuff right. There we go. I already got to get my stuff right. There we go. Here we go. Let's get it. Let me turn the music down. I'm in my house. Let me turn the music down. I'm in my house. Period. Go let me like my own self. Hold on. Okay. Now check it. Let me turn my phone down to you. All right. Now, I want to say welcome everybody. Everybody, welcome when you come in. If you do it on the replay, welcome. All new subscribers, welcome. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers that say like, share, and subscribe if you want. You don't have to. It's up to you. I never force anyone to do anything. I never force anyone to watch. If what I say you don't like, you're welcome to keep going, strolling. You don't have to. You don't have to look. You don't have to sit back and watch. I am here just to help you understand a lot of abusive people. Y'all call them narcs. I say toxic people. I give you the 1 million truth. I'm not saying I'm 100, 1,000. I'm gonna give you the 1 million truth about women. I can't talk about men. I learned a lot from men because I did not have a father figure in my home. I had a mother, but she wasn't in the home the way she should have been in the home. I'm not down at her, but I'm just telling the truth because the truth will set your mind, your heart, and your spirit free. And a lot of people don't like to be set free because for so long we were suppressing feelings that we should not even have been suppressing. As a child, you should not have to suppress feelings of rejection, feelings of abandonment, feelings of lack of communication, lack of love, lack of understanding, lack of compassion, lack of communication. And when you're toxic or you grew up in a dysfunctional family, those are the things that you're going to get in the midst of living in that type of surrounding. So, me, I look for 5 years, I've watched how YouTube people that have YouTube channels talk about, people that is toxic. But I'm here to give y'all another twist on, narcs, or y'all so bitter towards a narc, or you're so bitter towards people that did you dirty in your relationship. So you're going to be kind of on a bitter side because you're still holding on to something suppressed. And I'm not being evil or mean, but I'm just being so very honest. You're not hurt by that toxic man or woman that came in your homes because, and I'm not being smart, but I'm just calling it as it is. I call a spade, a heart. You are still holding on to whatever your mom did to you, whatever your father did to you, whatever your uncle or your aunt did to you, whatever your grandparents did to you, whatever your great grandparents did to you. Because it's a cycle for a lot of people. If mommy don't raise me, then grandmom gonna take me. But then when grandmama take you, guess what? Grandmama didn't raise mama. Or grandmama didn't raise daddy. You get what I'm saying? So now this you're going into the hands of another wolf. I call them wolves because they are. They will do you dirty too. Grandparents are very mean to children as well. I mean, they're very cruel because, first of all, I don't want to take you because I didn't raise your mother, but they're not going to tell you that in that type of form. They're going to just be so cruel to you, like, okay, do this, clean the house up. Go take out the garbage. Go in the car and get those bags. Go do this. Go do that. You'll find yourself working yourself to death for your grandparents or working yourself to death to keep bills up in the home that you should not even be doing because you are a child still. You are still in an immature state. So you need to be taught all these things. You need to be taught how to have a solid foundation. You need to be taught how to have a solid, emotion or not unstable. Because a lot of people move unstably and you don't want to admit it because for so long people been playing victims. I'm a victim of this, I'm a victim of that, I'm a victim. He don't love me. You got mamas and daddies that got 4 and 5 baby mamas and 4 or 5 baby daddies. I'm not putting you down, but you will get another man that you ain't even got a baby by, or you will get a woman that you ain't got a baby by, and you will use that on them like, this is this and that is that. It's like a pass down. Like, I'm gonna get in this relationship and I'm gonna torment them because my last relationship didn't work out. That's not how it works. You got to start from the root if y'all want to grow, and growing takes healing. You cannot grow if you don't heal. So if you got issues with your mother, just say use mothers, because I didn't have neither. I didn't have a mom or a dad in the home to teach me anything. I definitely didn't have a dad at all. So when people say, I have a dad, okay, well, how did your dad treat you? A lot of people take what they taught, which all teaching is not the right teaching. I did not grow up with no parent. I mean, my mom, like I said, my mom was in the house, but she wasn't in the house with rules and regulations and you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to do this and be that. No, no, no. I didn't get that. I didn't have a father figure where people say I got two parents in the house, but I'm here to tell you two parents in the house still is not going to stop your children from going astray because it's still a generational cycle that's being trickled down to this family member to that family member. So we got to stop saying if you ain't growed up in a if you grew up in a if you didn't grow up in a two-parent house, you ain't gonna know how to be respectful, you ain't gonna know how to be this, you ain't gonna know how to be that. Oh, that's a lie because I didn't grow up with no parents. I didn't grow up in nothing stable. I didn't grow up with nobody around. I was a little while in a at first, feeling out life, but I was always serious about life on another token. Like I could see at a young age, as y'all call them, familiar spirits. A familiar spirit is only something you grew up around, and now you can recognize it again. But a lot of people don't like to recognize spirits. They like to sit around and complain and cry and wait for situations to occur so you can do your same old tactic: cry about it, smear people names, lie about it, run to people, gossip about it, don't want to deal with it, run away from it, being a coward. And that's just what I call those type of people. You're a coward when you can't confront your enemy, or you can't confront your situations. I never run away from nothing. I never in my life ever ran away from anything. If it was a problem for me, I confronted it. And I didn't confront it the way I'm talking now because I didn't understand how to confront anything. You get what I'm saying? So anytime I handle situations, it was due to anger because I'm like, man, you're making me feel like I'm a child again. Like I'm back in feeling abandoned. I'm back in feeling rejected. I'm back feeling, like I'm not wanted. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of people grow up as women, and I'm talking to us women, not men. Y'all, like I said, y'all can listen. I don't mind men listening to me, but this is more of a woman channel because it's a lot of women hurting from being molested, being abandoned, being rejected, being abused mentally, physically, spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Women really carry a lot of damaging feelings within. Men seem like y'all can get away with y'all emotions, even though y'all can hurt. Like they say, mommy issues, daddy issues. Of course, I mean, mommy and daddy do have issues, and they gave their children or they taught those children those issues. Like I did on my TikTok, and my TikTok is Aqua Anderson. Um, I had put up there that where's my phone? I had put up there that hold on, that we were taught to believe lies, which we were. We were taught to believe lies. I had put up there, if y'all can see it, you might can't see that. We was taught to honor and worship lies and abuse and remain failures all our lives. And we did, but God. Because if God never came in my life, I would have never known. I would still probably been running like a toxic woman, not sexually. Like I said in my last one last night, I wasn't sexually active. I mean, I knew how to have it, but you know what I'm saying? I wasn't active in it. So a lot of people don't want to hear the truth, and I notice a lot of people run to channels that motivates you, keeps you going just a little bit. Now y'all need to heal, like y'all need to go down. I'm not going to say you're going to completely heal 100%, but you can be delivered from what you're hurting from, because like I say, I'm going to talk about growing up tonight, and I'm talking about growing up tonight for a reason. I'm not using my childhood to scare anyone. I'm using my childhood to let you know you can overcome it, but you got to put in work. You don't have to sit around on your misery. You don't have to sit around and hurt no more. You ain't got to sit around and blame nobody no more, because you'll start your healing. And you have to start healing from the people that hurt you first. And who hurt you first? It's a lot of women that don't get along with their mothers. Why is that? Why is it a lot of people that don't get along with their mothers? There's a lot of people that don't get along with their fathers. Now, I'm not a father. I am a woman, so I don't know how they feel because I never had a father figure. But I never had problems with men either, because men gravitated to me real. Like right now, I have a lot of men that reach out to me in all of my socials. They, oh, you the one, you're my wife, this and that, that and the other. I have that all the time. And the reason why, because a man need a woman. And majority of men see a rare woman, or a woman that can stand her own, or a woman that can hold it down, because a woman's supposed to hold her home down. You don't supposed to tear your home down. You're supposed to build your home. I didn't learn all of this from my mother. And that's why I can speak on it. I learned nothing of this from my mother. I learned much of nothing from my mother, even when I connected to my mother. Only thing I learned was cooking, and I learned that on my own. You can go on Pinterest or anything, and it was some cooking. I love Pinterest. And all you gotta do is know how to follow directions. If you get a half a teaspoon of parsley, or you get a half a cup of red peppers, and all you gotta do is go ahead and follow directions, get it going, and guess what? You're a cooker. You don't. It don't take much to learn how to cook. It don't take much to learn how to work. It don't take much to do anything in this physical world. But what it takes a lot of doing is healing and bringing accountability and truth to the surface, because a lot of people don't want to hear the truth, because we've been living in delusional lies for so long. So now that truth tellers, which I'm a truth teller, gonna come forth, guess what? I'm gonna get a lot of backlash about it, because people do not want to realize the reality of their life, because they done blindsided themselves for so long, just because they don't want to face the reality or the pain within. You gotta face it, because y'all moving just like you're feeling, you're acting out of control. You're crying all the time. I notice a lot of women there just break down and cry, and I'd be like, why is you crying? Like I'm just wanting to know, when they tell the stories, they'd be like, they just break, and I'd be like, wow, you breaking down over that? Like, let me bust one move on you about my life, and then when I bust a move on with my life, then they looking like, what you went through that, you don't look like it. Of course I don't look like it. It wasn't meant for me to look like it. I could have looked like it. I could have been a drug addict. I could have been an alcoholic, and I used to drink, but I could have still been drinking right now if I never confronted what was within me. Now, how I start really understanding nurturing, understanding being compassionate, understanding, communicating, and all that. You know how I got all that with my kids. When God blessed me with 3 kids, which y'all know my daughter passed away in December, and that was a prime example of raising a woman. I raised my daughter well. I gave my daughter everything that I did not have. And I fulfilled her and her father before he passed away. He passed away 2014. So when he passed away, it was like, she was like, I ain't got no dad no more. Where, I mean, what we do now? And I was like, I'm gonna help you, but I couldn't help her with her pain, but I could soothe it for that moment. So I put a lot of nurturing into my daughter because she's a female. And I set her up to where if anybody touch you, you let me know. I did a check test on my kids every week. I don't care if you are embarrassed. My son's bent over. I mean, I'm being very honest, bend over. Because a lot of men love little boys, little round donuts. You get what I'm saying? And because I've been around it as I grew up, I seen it as I grew up. I was a product of that kind of foolishness when I grew up. So when my kids were coming up, I made sure y'all go to daycare. Somebody cruel to you, you go to daycare. They do this to you, you go to daycare. I gave them rules, and my daughter and my 2 sons took that to heart. So if anything ever happened to them, don't ever be afraid to run to me and tell me, because a lot of children grew up, all of us had to be a child once upon a time in our life. If you're an adult now, we grew up being touched. We grew up being holding secrets. We grew up being alone. Not all. I'm not talking about the ones that didn't, but majority of us, 95% of us kids, we don't had real hard lives. But a lot of people don't want to talk about it. It's because they don't want to face it, because you don't went on with your life and you suppressed it. I suppressed it a long time. I suppressed it where I forgot about half of my childhood. I can tell y'all what I know. I don't remember all of it because it wasn't nothing to hold on to remember. You know what I'm saying? So the remembrance, sometimes I just have to sit there and I'd be like, okay, what happened to me in my childhood? Like, I'm trying to ask God to bring it back to me. But majority of times it was so painful, I couldn't even want to remember it. So me telling y'all about me growing up is not telling y'all something to feel sad for me. Please don't feel sad for me, because I'm over it. I'm over growing up. I'm growing now. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get a foundation where I had to cut everybody out my life. It's sad, but I had to do it because everybody that was in my life were takers. They were taken from me. If they weren't taking my motivation, they was taking my spirit, that my energy, because everybody knew Siobhan gonna come around. Siobhan gonna make everybody feel good. Siobhan gonna nurture everybody. Siobhan gonna make everybody feel like they're important, which you are important. I don't care what you did in your life, because your mistakes on earth is not the mistakes that God gonna see. Because once you go to God and take accountability, believe me, when He start working on you, you will get it right with whoever you hurt. We hurt people. Everybody hurt somebody. Because if that wasn't the case, Jesus Christ would have not went on that cross and tried to do the right thing for us. Well, he didn't try. He did do the right thing for us. He wouldn't have went through all that. So everybody on this side can say we never been hurt before. And then the people on this side saying we were hurt. No, we all been hurt in some form or fashion. You've been hurt mentally. Somebody done hurt you spiritually. Somebody done hurt you physically. You just been hurt. But the biggest hurt is the spiritual hurt. A lot of people don't know what they're dealing with. I was looking at TikTok this morning, and I seen up there where the president, the government, everybody, they even now calling out Ephesians 6:12, where we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but principalities and wicked high places. Now the government calling out Jesus and God now, because they cannot beat principalities without the knowledge. If you do not have the knowledge to beat the spiritual realm, y'all gonna be just like y'all gonna be running the channels, I don't know. My husband left me for 10 years. My boyfriend didn't call me for 2 months. My girlfriend just up and ghosted me. She stole my wallet. She stole my TV. She stole everything out my house. You know why? Because your lack of knowledge of the spiritual realm. And I was lack of knowledge of it because I wasn't taught nothing about God. I wasn't taught nothing about Christ. I mean, I see little movies, when the Passover come down that I go back and rewind. And wherever I was at with a television, that's where I could watch anything because like I said, I did not have a stable life. I was everywhere. We was moving everywhere. I can't even remember the last time me and my brother split up, or I remember when my sister split up because my sister just left at 13 years old because the abuse was extreme for her. And right now she is still going through it, and she's 50. She's 5 years older than me. 50. I'm 49, so she is 54, and she'll be 55 in May, and she's still holding on to the abuse. She's still instilled with fear. She still sometimes will crawl up when people hurt her, or she'll just agree or negotiate just so somebody can be around her. I'm not that one. I don't, excuse me, y'all. I don't negotiate. And I'm not going to negotiate with nothing dark. I will not. Now, I will come in and try to, wake you up. And I'm not going to waste too much time waking you up because you already know what's going on within. Like me, as a woman, I know what I've got to do. I know, even though those attacks and those spiritual attacks was hitting me after my daughter died and before my daughter passed away, I went through a lot with my children. Not my oldest son. He was like me. He did his own thing. He on his own. You'll never hear me too much talk about my older because my older did not give me no problems like that. But my other two children, they did. They the ones really opened my eyes. Like, man, this is a spiritual attack. And when I start searching, because I'm a researcher, so I'm hungry for knowledge. I'm hungry. Why is this occurring? Why is that occurring? So when people say, well, you living in a two house with two parents, you're gonna end up being right. That is not true. That is so untrue. No, what's going to happen is they're going to get the luxury that you didn't get. Like I was pointing to my kids, that what I didn't get, it still didn't happen because it's a spiritual side that we have to be in tune with. A lot of people don't want to talk about demons and devils and God and Jesus because you know why? Your belief system was seared. They seared your belief system like racism. Who gonna get mad over a flesh color? Or you're white, you're black. I'm not black. This is black. I'm brown. This is pink. This is this is white. You get what I'm saying? That's white. We messing up colors. We messing up a whole lot of stuff. The knowledge that people saying they got is not true knowledge. That's why people are failing now. Businesses is falling down. People are crumbling. You know why? Because they've been just only fixing on top of the surface. Nobody likes to dive deep. Why? Because diving deep hurts so bad to a lot of people. I'd rather let it burn and let it hurt so I can heal and feel complete. And pouring back into yourself, it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with pouring back into you. It's nothing wrong with pouring back into what you want, especially if you're an adult. It's a lot of women that get married to men, but they can't be a full wife because they got to pull mama in because mama got to always know what's going on in the marriage. See, that don't go with me. My mama is still living, but my mother don't have nothing to do if I would ever get married again. I don't have to run to my mother and ask how to be a wife. I know how to be a wife. I've been a wife, so I know what it takes to be a wife. But I got to have a man that knows how to be a man and a husband. You get what I'm saying? The foundation got to stick together. You got to come together. When you start pulling family members on both sides in your marriages and in your relationships, guess what? It's going to be chaos because not, everybody is not happy for you. I don't care if it is your mama. Your mama is not happy for you. If you can't discern her, guess what? Mama gonna be that witch. And if y'all know the story of Herodias and Herod, he wanted his brother's wife and he got her and she went to her mother and asked her mother what should she get because he had thrown this great big old party. He a little famous dude, a king back in the day, and he threw it to impress people. And when this young woman came to him and told her what she wanted John the Baptist's head on a charger. Guess what? Her mother, she went through her evil mother, went back to her evil mother. What do I need to tell him I want? If she would have never went to her mother and asked her mother what did she wanted, it wouldn't have been nobody hit on the charger. It wouldn't have been that chosen one hit on the charger. Now they got to pay for what they did to that chosen one. So now it's bringing destruction. That's why you got to be very careful who you let in your life, because anybody that come in your life ain't for your life. They're in your life to tear your life down. I don't care if it's your mother. You got to now when you come out of that mother's womb, you got to deal with what mama bring forth. Everybody ain't a mother. Everybody ain't meant to be a father. Everybody ain't meant to be a husband. Everybody ain't meant to be a wife. Why? Because nobody taking time out to be stuff like that. They only chasing vanity. What is vanity? They chasing nothing but materialistic things on top of this physical world, because you can't understand the spiritual world. A lot of people weren't even taught the spiritual world. I know I wasn't. I wasn't taught to pray to God, our Father which arts in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I wasn't taught that. I wasn't taught to go into the word of God and get your inner self healed, because it wasn't no Bibles in the house. Only thing was in my household was liquor, fighting, cussing, fussing, beating each other down, reckless situations. It's time to move. It's time to go. It's time to do this. It's time to do that. You got to do this. Ain't no food. That kind of lifestyle I lived. But taking care of myself, I was like, well, we got to wash, because she always washed us. Well, we got to wash. I knew that was a plus. We got to eat. I knew I had to go out there and get on a scavenger hunt, but I had a little older lady named Miss Froney. She lived across the street. She helped us out a lot with food. You get what I'm saying? But I didn't let that stop me as a young child. And I was like probably 7 or 8 years old, then rolling around the world trying to feed and trying to help others and trying to get this and trying to get that. Yeah, I was. It's nothing wrong with that, because I know that was me. That's why I can survive now. Just say if I just say, shoot, I want to relocate, and I'll pick right up, because the job I got now, this I got, I'll get right up and pack. I don't have a problem with moving, because I moved all my life. I lived far away from my family for, my son is 25, probably about almost 30 years. I went down south. I moved from South Carolina to North Carolina. I spent so many years in South Carolina. I spent so many years in North Carolina. I went to Florida. I went Tennessee. I was everywhere because I was a traveler. I was like, I'm not going to be stuck. I refuse to be stuck. So when I get grown, I'm going to give it my all, and I did. As a woman, I gave it my all when I got in relationships. I was married for 15 years to my kid's father. But guess what? Even though we both was in the relationship, we both was broken, and they were preacher kids. So I'm like, okay, I'm listening to what the preacher's saying, but they're not shaking. They're not doing what they're saying that they're supposed to do. So what we're doing here, like, okay, y'all saying there's a God, and this God is powerful, and he'll remove your pain and all. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm looking at the people in the building, and I'm like, these folks don't move right. Like, if they're saying you set free, you're freed indeed. Why are these people moving like this? And it was a whole lot of hurt in the church. I don't deal with hurt in churches. So that's something I move away from. I still don't fool with the church, because the church ain't real. I mean, I'm being honest. The church is vulnerable people looking for answers that's within. And I say this all the time. Your answers is within you. It's not without you, it's within you. Whoever wounded you, you're still hurting from. So y'all go to the church and they manipulate you. Those are big manipulators. Those pastors, it's something about y'all men that be pastoring, and then y'all get in there and that flesh start activating, and there you got about 15. Because if you notice, in churches, if it's a male pastor, it's more females. And if it is males, they moving like, they little, like they got this walk. Like you can tell when a man is tampered with and a man is being messed with, because they move like they're a film. So I know a lot of that stuff, in which I can spiritually see a lot too. So that's why I don't mess with the churches. The churches will hinder your growth as well. That's why I'm really die hard on a one-on-one with God. Talk to God. He hear you. You might can't see him. You ain't supposed to see him yet. That's just his word. That's just what he do. I had to learn all this in 2019 to now. That's why I'm now getting to YouTube. I started just posting videos. Y'all can see I was hard in the word of God in the first beginning. I'm still hard in the word of God, but now that I'm in my purpose, I understand I have to be transparent. And I am very transparent, because I lived in darkness half of my life. From 2019 to now, this is when I went in and put in the work. asking God to help me. Yeah, I get attacks all the time. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, nobody attacks me. A lot of people attack me, especially my family. But that let me stop me from talking? No, because my family know that I will expose them. My family know I don't play with them. My family know that they were the first ones that hurted me, not strangers. Strangers didn't hurt me. How can a stranger hurt me when they don't know nothing about me? Unless I open my mouth and tell you about me. And then when you're dealing with toxic people, they'll use your hurt towards you. That's why a lot of you get hurt, because you are telling them what stings you. Now, me, words don't bother me. Actions don't bother me. I play dumb to a lot of situations because I see people for who they are. Stuff like that don't bother me. If you call me out my name, I know I'm not what you just called me, because what defiles a man is what come out of man's mouth. What's in that man's heart is what's defiling that man. So if that man got a nasty attitude, that man is physical abusive, guess what? He got a lot of anger issues within him because he didn't go and get away and get that delivered. He just went to therapy, talked to the therapist. The therapist cannot make you save yourself. I mean, the therapist can't save you. You're only going to therapy to, you know, blurt out what you're really going through. Now, everybody go to therapy and tell the truth now. All therapists can't discern if you're telling the truth or not. They only going off of behavior patterns of many people that come through. That don't mean that they deliver from what they're going through. It's some people got passions for jobs, and some people are just there to get paid. So you got to understand where you're going to. If you're going I always ask people, even when I go to my doctors, I'll be like, listen, is you in this for passion, or you into this for money? I have a film said money, I'll get out of there, because I already know you ain't gonna do right by me. You ain't gonna, you know, be caring or nurturing me the way you're supposed to. So I always go to people that say passion. And if the passion don't even add up, I won't even come back. So I am very strategic about who, diagnose me. I'm very strategic about what people say to me. I'm very strategic about how people talk to me. I listen very well. I always take conversations after I'm talking. I'll go off. I always say I'll get into my box. I'll pull out that little chip, download it, and go ahead and reevaluate the conversation, because honestly, there is a lot of lessons in a narc conversation. They talk in riddles. I tell y'all this all the time. Narcs talk in riddles. They don't know how to be direct. They're very indirect people. They don't know how to confront. They're weak spiritually, but on the outside, they can make you feel like they're very, very strong and powerful. They're not. They need an enabler. So that's why they're very good with their talk. They're very good at talking. They're very good at speaking. They can finesse you real quick. They know how to flim flam. They know how to flim flam their words. So dealing with narcs and toxic people that is not healed, they will show you what they're made of. They will show you how they roll. So if they cheat on you, they still got a cheating problem. They still got they probably was cheated on by family members. You get what I'm saying? When your parents leave you and ghost you and give you the silent treatment, and you get in another relationship and that man do it, you know your mom and dad did that to you. You know your mom and dad. That's why a lot of people get with men. A lot of women get men, and they want that man to take care of them. He didn't pay my bills. He didn't give me no gift today. Valentine's Day roll around. They want all these hearts, and I'm gonna get all these flowers. No, 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 no. Where is the emotions? Valentine's Day is just one day that show love, and that's the only day you're gonna get love shown. No, you can keep your heart balloons. Where is the true heart? So y'all got to make these men and women pour out what is really in them. And if it ain't nothing in them, okay, suck it up. Keep moving. Don't sit there and whine and cry. Oh, he don't want me no more. He might not be for you. He can't be for you if he's leaving you. He's dodging you. And then a lot of women, like I tell y'all, and I'm gonna keep saying it, y'all give up y'all cookie too much. Why is y'all giving that up so much? Why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because somebody took it from you. So you thinking that's just the way to go. Your daddy might have took it from you, because I'm telling you, it's getting real with these pops. Your stepdad, oh, stepdads, they the worst. Now, I never had a stepdad touch me. I wished he would. Yes, I wished he would. But I did have family members touch me, but I was at a young age. Now that I know, hey, what's up? That's how I was. What's up? Like what? I'm feeling bitter now. I think you don't deserve life. That's how I was. You know what I'm saying? Because now, don't forget, Everybody y'all hurt got to grow up one day, and that growth growing up, you're going to be exposed. That's why it's not good to do things to people and think that it's always going to be covered, because whatever's in the dark going to come to the light regardless if you like it or not. You're going to be exposed. Y'all are exposed. Y'all moving just like you acting. Oh, I ain't no money hungry woman. But then you get in the relationship and that's all you want. You want Gucci pocketbooks, you want red bottom shoes, you want Jimmy Choos, you want all that stuff, but you're not money hungry. Make it make sense. You're lying, and that's what people been doing for so long. Like, people be like, I ain't hurting. If you're connected to somebody like me, if I'm connected to a person, even if I can have 10 conversations with you, 10, just 10, I can feel you. I'm spiritual, so I can feel hurt and pain. Like my baby boy, he be in prison. I'm sorry, and he'll call me. I was like, what's up? Last night you was going in, like, you're crying and you're hurting. And he was like, how you know that? Who called you? It ain't nobody called me. I could feel you because I am connected to you. And that's how I do it. And I tell people, please don't get connected to me if you don't want me to feel your emotions. I can hear people talking. I can do all that. And then guess what? I get dreams. My family didn't want to hear all that stuff. I brought it to my family attention. Y'all was arguing last night. Y'all were cussing me out. And when I get the ring in my ear, that's an attack. And what? Them two attacks. My family member attacked, flat my tires. You get what I'm saying? So I can feel a lot of stuff. That's why you can't get away from me if you're connected to me, because we have, y'all call it an intuition, but it's a spirit within. You get what I'm saying? You can feel. Sometimes you gotta play dumb on your feeling. That's okay, but I don't play dumb on my feeling. I'll be like, "What's up? You okay?" I'm okay. No, you're not. I feel you. I feel if you're connected to me. When my daughter was going through her overdoses all last year, I said, fine. I was trying to reach out to you. You okay? Did you die? Did you come back? Mom, how you know? And every time she was, hey, sunshine, how you doing, baby? How you doing, Shay Love? I'm doing great. But she would say, Mom, I'm hurting. I passed away last night. And she did that all last year. And God was preparing me that whole time for her death in December. And when she died in December, it didn't hit me as bad as it would any other mother, because I prepared and God prepared me for her death for a whole entire year. Because when my baby boy, I'm sorry, when my baby boy met her, because them both was breaking and entering, toxic, steal your cars, steal your keys. Both of them was on drugs. They was doing and I didn't understand why they were running the way they were running, because I never, I smoked my marijuana, but I ain't moving like that, because I, no. But they were doing that, and then they start, breaking and entering. I was like, y'all get $1,000 a month in y'all account, and what are we doing here? Why y'all broke the next week? What, I start asking questions, because then they coming to me for money, and I'm like, no, you get $1,000 a month. Why are you asking me for money? You ain't got to pay no bills. We paying the bills in the house. We doing this in the house. What's going on? So by me working and paying bills, and I was with my ex, the last man I was with in 2019. We were together 10 years. He rolled with me a lot. Now, he was toxic too, but not as toxic as I was. He couldn't keep up with me, because I knew the game in being toxic, but he was toxic, and I never put no one down, that I was with in a relationship. All I say is we both were broken, which we both were broken, so, but he did his part as a man, but he had mommy issues. He had daddy issues. And he would tell me about how him and his dad used to argue all the time. And he grew up in a two-home, with both parents, but they still were broken. They still had family issues. Him and his dad just couldn't even go ahead, sit in a room together. And when I got around, and he was like, him and his dad said something about his mother. He went off. He went, and I'm like, why? Your dad telling you what he feel about your mother on his, what they went through. He don't talk about my mom. And so I started evaluating stuff. I was like, his mother can come in easy and say, this person did this person did that person did this person, and he ready to tear their head off. But when his daddy was telling him, or his mother would sit around and talk about his daddy, like die hard talk about his daddy, he would absorb it and be like, yeah, my daddy, I can't stand him. And I was like, y'all, and I did reach out to them as they were talking in the midst of my house. I was like, such and such his mother, such and such to him. Listen, why is you okay with absorbing what your mother got to say about your dad, but you don't absorb what your dad got to say about your mother? Because in the relationship, the way y'all moving, everybody broke it in the relationship. So they start, examining me like, how you see this? I can see this because it's a game. And a lot of mothers bring so discord between fathers. Those mothers can tear their children down to the absent parent. All daddies ain't bad daddies. All daddies can be daddies because it's a lot of mothers that got witchy attitudes, a lot of witches, a lot of evilness in them, a lot of Jezebels, as y'all call them, those demonic spirits in those mothers. So they'll make the absent children tear down the daddy because daddy didn't do what that witch wanted him to do. So a lot of men do get scorned from how mama come into life, and then they're coming in for a certain thing, and then that certain thing ain't there. Then they're gonna have a child, and they're gonna use that child against their absent parent. I done seen it so many times. So many men. I done even coached a lot of men. Didn't know I was coaching them, but I seen this. And so we start talking. So we went to see his dad. And I've seen his dad for the first time. And the way he act with his dad, we actually got into a fight at the house with his dad because his dad had another woman. But I'm like, your mama got another man. That's a problem with this. You gonna get mad at your daddy having a woman, but you know your mama. And mama kept saying, shh, when you go down there, don't tell him I got another man. I'm telling. I'm a truth teller. I'm telling because this ain't fair. So you keeping secrets. So you're teaching your son to be secretive on your mess. But when it come to daddy, go down there and spy, get everything, and tell me. That is a bad thing because then that child grow up. That child gonna think that that is how you do things. That's where vindictive. That's where gossiping. That's where spying. That's where smear campaigns, all of that stuff come from through people because it was grown up in them. His mother actually taught him how to be a victim of damaging women. He damaged all the women he been with, but when it hit me, it was a brick wall. Like, I can't. That one won't move. And he used to always tell me, I can't crack your code. Why are you trying to crack my code? Why are you trying to tear me down? So we started battling. When I knew he was demonic and I started learning things, I was like, whoa, but I could beat him, but I didn't want to keep beating him. I mean, like physically beating him. I didn't want to keep doing that because I'm not gonna keep talking to you. You feeling like one of my kids, and that's how it go. We bring our brokenness in. I never been a burden on nobody. Anybody ever said they crossed me there? Said that one right there. She'll never burden. I never put my burdens on anybody. I would hide and get in a hermit shell before I even go out in this world. If I'm not feeling good, I'll go out. I would not go out in the world because I want to be positive in the world. I'm not trying to go out in the world and be negative. I can be, but I choose not to be because we got our own free will. Who want to go out and hurt people? When I grew up wrong and I grew up tough and I grew up wrong the way I grew up, I didn't take that mess into the world like, ooh, every man bad, every man dirty, every man. No, every man ain't bad, every man ain't dirty. I talked to millions of men in my lifetime because I was very eager to understand, like, man, I didn't have a father. How I feel to have a father, I just forgot about it. How I feel to have a mother, I just forgot about it. But when I had children, I was like, I'm gonna be that mother. The man that I married, he was a father. You get what I'm saying? But we wasn't good for each other, husband and wife. We physically fought each other a lot. So I know how I feel to be in a physical abuse, in a relationship where the man beat on the woman. I've been there. I've done that. I used to go to work. I was a supervisor at a plant right across here. And I would go to work with black eyes. I would put sunshades on, and I was a crew leader. And I was like, "Listen, don't ask me about my black eyes until this eye go down, because I'm going back home and I might get another black eye." I was one that kept moving. Like, I want to know why you beating on me. I want to know why you keep hitting on me. I want to know because if I hit back, I'm gonna kill. He didn't understand it, and he was 285 pounds. My ex-husband was big. He's deceased, but he was a big guy. I like big guys. I know. I had small guys. I don't care for that. But he was a big guy, and I was like, "Why are you? What's up? We fighting too much. Like, why are we hitting each other?" And we was doing it in front of the kids. You got to be careful when you're fighting in front of kids. I know that I speak on that. We were very abusive in front of our kids, so that gets inside of the kids. And my daughter used to talk about it. I remember when dad used to hit you. I remember dad bust your head. I remember when you was bleeding. I remember when he stomped you in your face. Believe me, I went through all this. I'm telling you what I went through. Stomped in the face, and I was a 15-year-old woman, not a girl. I didn't have time to be a girl. I had to be a woman. And as I grew, I learned a lot of abuse, getting into a relationship. So 15 years, I was like, I ain't doing this no more. How y'all said, oh, I don't want my kids to be distant from their family or their father, honey. I left. And he didn't see his kids for 4 years. I didn't bother with him. I ain't want no child support. I ain't want nothing. Because if I would have stayed in a relationship, I wouldn't be able to be a mother to my kids. So I was like, no, I'll be your father. I'm going to be your mother and your father. I didn't do child support. We didn't go through the system. But when we had to get a divorce, you got to go through the system. The judge, you want child support? I don't want nothing. I just want to get my name back and I just want to move forward. And that's what I did. Got into the second relationship 6 years in. It wasn't no good. I'm not going to break that down, break yet. Then I got in my third, and I was like 10 years in. I was like, listen, is you going to make a step? Because I don't want this no more. He thought I was joking. I can't do it. Once my kids got grown, I was like, I'm over it. I don't want to be broken no more. What do I do to fix myself? And I still didn't know how until God came. And that's how I tell y'all I'm chosen. I didn't know nothing about Christ. The Holy Spirit came and bam, here I am 5 years in, have been delivered from everything that I reneged in December when my daughter died. And I said, God, I got to go to the dispensary because it wasn't just me fighting my daughter. I had to fight my son in prison. He's still in prison, cutting up. He went in 2 days in the hole. He in the hole for a whole year for stabbing up a guy, leaving him for dead in a holding cell because it's nothing but drug activity, cell phones, and all that stuff in the prison. So I called the warden. I was like, why is I'm sending money through cash apps, through telephones in the prison? So my son called me, you call up here, you a snitch. I said, you daggone right, I'm a snitch. You taking my money like crazy. I mean, he was taking my money on clockwork. And I got a cash app that I even hated to even show. I even deleted my cash app because I was sending money. And when I tell y'all, I don't think y'all can see this. It's too light. But when I get to where I can do, I got a cash app. Last year, they gave me my balance of how much money I gave away. I gave between my daughter that deceased and my son $13,000 for what? Drugs that I did not understand. I'm just like, oh, my kids is crying because you got a soft spot, and I impacted people, which I'm a super empath. I can be I can go cold on a person or I can be warm on a person. I'd rather for you to let me be warm on you because if I go cold on you, I have no more feelings for you, period. I know how to sear my feelings real quick. But if you let me be warm on you, I'll be warm on you. I mean, you can get all the warmth you want, but I could not stop being warm on my kids because I knew my daughter any day now, I'm going to get this phone call saying my daughter going to pass away. I was like, man, nothing, I'm not going to stop. I got to show her, but I stopped sending money. I just start buying her food. I start getting her clothes or getting her little gift cards to eat here, eat there. You know what I'm saying? I had to stop it because she was using the money to pass out. Fentanyl, that drug fentanyl, I looked that drug up and it's for cancer patients, but the fentanyl now getting shipped over here. Some big boys behind all that. I ain't got nothing to do with that, but it's going to come down. But I got a lot to do with it when it's getting into the hands that's feeding my daughter and other people's children. That's a hard pill to swallow when you hear your child and died from a drug or your child got shot down in the streets. I knew my daughter was in the streets, and I knew in a matter of time she's not going to come out them streets because I've been on her for 9 years. Come on, come on, come on. That's why I tell everybody, I can't save you. I can tell you how to get saved, but I can't save you. I can't make you. You get what I'm saying? So I went through that battling from November till now. After she passed away, then there was my brother and them cutting up on me, cutting tires, lying, smearing my name all over Facebook, which I didn't care about the smearing because I already know that ain't me. So you can go ahead and write 1,000 books if you want on me because I know who I am and I know how people know that I am. So I don't worry about the smear campaign. The only ones believe it is the ones that, anybody that's toxic, the ones that they got bullied or the ones that's lower vibrational than they are. Those are the ones they tell it to. So I don't care about the people they talk to because I already know they all birds flock together in that situation. Smearing wasn't it. My property. You're stopping me from financially moving forward. You're stopping me from going here and there because you're not here and there. You don't have a car. You don't have a job. You don't have a house. So now you're going to stop all of my growth because you don't have a growth because I cut the family off. I disconnected. I don't want to deal with y'all no more. And they're going to get mad with you. Don't think that the family ain't going to get mad with you. And I just told my family, how y'all going to get mad with me being disconnected from y'all when we wasn't a family from the very beginning? See, that is what is the biggest problem with family members. They think just because you born in the family, you got to stay in the family. You'll hear a lot of people say, well, that's your family. No, no, no. That's my flesh and blood. If they ain't rocking with Christ and they ain't trying to get with God, you're going to have nothing but chaos in your house. You're going to have nothing but demons to and fro. Open the door, demons in your children. That's why a lot of people have a problem with their households because nobody knows how to get that spiritual side going. So we're going to all battle this stuff with the physical world. Go to therapy. Go live with your grandmama. Go live with your uncle. Go live with your aunt. And you're putting them right back into a lion's den because grandmama wasn't no good. You know grandmama ain't no good. You know granddaddy ain't no good. But just because you are blinded and you are brainwashed by these demons inside of these meat jackets that you call mama and daddy and grandmama and uncle. I don't like uncle word. That's another trigger for me. That's something I do have to work on as well. I'm not perfect. Don't even come with me. Oh, you ain't nobody perfect. Nobody perfect. I'm gonna spell some words wrong. I'm gonna pronounce some words wrong. I'm gonna have triggers because I some triggers gonna always stick with me because it's not gonna never go nowhere because my heart understands what's going on in the world. Men molesting women, women molesting men. That stuff can go either or in this world. Children are dying by boats and ships. Mothers selling their kids for $500. Get you some condom. If you know you're on drugs and you know you're gonna use your cookie for your business, because that's what you're doing. That's your business to get your money to get your drugs. Because that's all the sexual activities is about. Give me my money, and I'm gonna get my money, and I'm gonna go get some drugs. Them women ain't going to take care of no kids, because if they was gonna take care of their kids, having sex for money ain't gonna be the way. You gonna go to work. I don't care if you gotta go to McDonald's and flip 10 burgers. You get clean money to take care of your kids, because if you bring in dirty money, guess what? Your kids gonna go out in the world and be dirty. You show your kids how to be crooked, they're gonna get on the internet and they're gonna start scamming. Why you think all these scammers out here? It's what you raise inside, it's what you instill inside your kids. And they're gonna be the product of what they were taught. When we come in the world, we're not taught nothing. I can't remember when I was 6 months. I can't remember when I was a year. I don't even got pictures to even see how I look when I was 6 months or a year, or whatever have you. So now that you're an adult, like Paul said, when I was a child, I spake as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. That means you got to put away the childish foolishness inside of you. But it's not foolishness, it's pain. It's a lot of pain. That's why we can't move forward. That's why when you do get in a relationship, they broke up in 6 months. What happened? They wasn't for me. What you mean? I didn't want it. What you mean you don't want it? They wasn't what I was looking for. What are you looking for? A lot of people ain't looking for what y'all think they're looking for. Like a lot of toxic people say they want a strong woman, a man. They don't mean what they say. You got to understand how toxic people talk. They don't want a strong man or woman that's going to come up against them. They need a strong woman or man that's going to take their foolishness. Is you strong enough? Basically, is what they're saying. Is you strong enough to take what I got to bring to the table? What you bringing to the table? Misery. No, I ain't strong for that. I can't do misery, baby. You can go ahead. I ain't saying in relationships, you ain't gonna go through it. You going I mean, it's gonna be ups and downs, trials and tribulations in relationships. But how are you going to produce those trials and tribulations? Is we going to talk about it? Is we going to sit down and, agree to disagree? Or are we going to just get mad, throw hands up, go to bed angry, nobody talking about it? That's where problems starting occurring. Things starting occurring. In my household, when I had a household, we talked about it. My family, my kids, and especially with my kids, we can need to sit around the table, y'all. What's going on? Mom, you always calling conversations. I know what I'm doing. And I always did that. I always showed nurturing to my kids. When I was with a man, ain't no man can say, and right now, I can call my ex right now. Ex, you want to, I think we can reconnect. He'll drop everything he got. He did it before. And I know it, but it was just too extreme. He went 4 years clean without whatever. He gave it his best shot, but the anger, you got the what they call it, the detoxing and all that. They got to go through those withdrawals, and withdrawals is crazy. And he was in the military. He did 8 years and went here and went there, Iraq and all that other stuff. But it wasn't, the military wasn't the problem. It was mommy and daddy, his environment he grew up in. And I brought it to the forefront. It's your environment. It ain't the military. You went in the military just to get away. He be like, man, you be calling us out. I'm like, no, I ain't calling you out. It's just I can see things. And when you can see things, it's like us having bad and raw and rough childhoods. I mean, my childhood was horrible, but I can talk about it now because I know many people are walking around here scared to talk to their family members or scared to approach. Well, mama, listen, why you leave us? I don't want to hear it. You know how to do it. But it's not fair. You should be able to talk about it. And if they have to talk about it, guess what? Now you're bringing accountability to the surface. Accountability is like a AKA. Accountability is like a Glock. You about to blow their brains out because now they got to come to what? Reality. Now you can make them bring up stuff that they went through. Now they done suppressed it for over 60 plus years or 70 plus years. Now you're putting a gun to their head now. So accountability is a real strong word for toxic people that's in denial. I don't care. I was hurt bad. But now that I've been delivered from all that hurt, now I can ask questions and they put the Glock right to my head. Girl, you better get up out of here. So they'll start acting out in an angry way. They'll start acting out in rage. They'll try to destroy you. They'll try to end you. They'll try to take your life because now you're exposing them. Now you're bringing that mass down. You're bringing all the masses down because they had the world thinking that they were this. I got this, I got homes, I got cars, and they in a whole lot of debt behind this credit scores. And all you gotta do is go get your credit repaired. This stuff been going on for years. I've been around high quality people all my life when I start working in jobs because I'm just that one that want to know everything. I want to know why is that going that way? What made this and what? I'm a questionnaire. So I'm gonna question things that I want to know. And especially if we're connected, why is this? Why is that? I'm very hungry for knowledge, so that's just how I am. And now that my family feeling that now by me, why is this? What happened here? So everybody in my hometown, when they see me, they either go the other direction or they come to me and they smile, be like, she can ask the question. Some days I don't because I don't want to know because you ain't going to tell me. So I let everything unfold and unwind. And there you have it. And it's a whole lot of stuff that I learned. I had to go dig up my father. Like, who is this dude? Who we related to with this dude on this side? Who is this? I had to learn. I did not know nothing about family gatherings, family reunions, birthdays, Christmas. Well, I'm glad I don't know about Christmas and Easter and all that. That's that pagan stuff. But now that I know the truth about everything, reality, my mom don't even know. I'd be wanting to tell her thank you for not even giving me those holidays or celebrate. I did it with my kids, but then I told my kids the truth. Those are pagan holidays. Those are demonic holidays. You got to sacrifice your kids and all that, the bail and all. That's why it's best to read the word. Y'all scared to read the word because see, the devil don't want you going to word. Because if you go in the word, the devil know you can get them. And a lot of people, listen, it was hard for me at first. 2019, I'm like, I don't read no word. I mess with that right there. Read the word. The spirit kept saying, read it, read it. And I'm like, the spirit got a way of putting you into that word. I got in that word and I started reading. Now I'm like, oh, oh, and I'm excited about it. Like, when you read the word, and it's a spiritual thing. You can't go in the word with your carnal mind. You can't read the word like you read with these novels and books that we buy off of Amazon. No, the word is a spiritual. It's inner. It's your inner self. And I start, that preacher right there is a fake. You'll be able to bam, 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 bam people. And that's just how it is. You'll be able to knock out all them demons. That's just how it go. But I had to learn, just like I'm trying to tell y'all about it, and many more days to come to tell you about it. But it's almost an hour in. I got 2 more minutes, and I just want to tell y'all this. When I tell y'all stuff like this, just don't beat yourself up about what you went through. It was not your fault. You were innocent. I'm gonna tell you that. And I tell a lot of women that I talk to now, because at first I didn't like women because of my mother. I thought women were just cruel. I thought all women were cruel. All women were vindictive. All women were cunning. All women were crafty. I did not have a female friend in my life. And then when they did get close to me, I'd be like, okay, what you want? I don't want to fuss. I'm not an arguer. So I don't like to argue. That's something nobody would never get from me. If we even start exchanging nasty words or anything, it's a problem. When I did that 4 hour dysfunctional family thing, I had to go after the live and soak and go back now because I was dealing with my daughter's death and everything else. My son in prison. Then my other son, he had got acquitted. He was going through a murder trial. I was dealing with three die-hard situations at that time of my daughter's death. So, going through all that and doing all that, I didn't have time to think. I didn't have time to get it together. I didn't even have time to mourn. I still don't have time to mourn. It ain't no need mourning now. I just go and drive and burst out and pray and fast and ask God to help me. And He do. He helped me every time. That's why I say, man didn't teach me anything. I'm on a faith train. My faith is stupid crazy. You do something to me, I'm like, all right, that'll get you. I ain't worried about it. Because it's no need to worry about what goes on in the world. The chaos is going to happen. The chaos is going to occur. People is going to try you. People is going to come at you. People are going to smear your name. People is going to try to tear you down. People is going to try to damage you. But the thing is you going to let them do it. That's the thing. Once you get older, is you going to let them do it. And a lot of people are still stuck in letting it. I'm scared to tell my mama how I feel. I'm scared to tell my mama why she grew me up. I'm scared to tell my dad if you still got these parents. My dad died when I was 14. I didn't go to his funeral. I ain't know the dude. What I'm going there for? What I'm looking at a dead man for? He dead now. I can't talk to that fellow no more. I can't ask them questions that I'm designing. What I'm gonna look at him while in a meat suit with full of and bomb. Listen, talk to me. You were dead when you were living. You ran from me. No, I can't say that. So I'd rather for me having an absent parent than having a parent in my life that tore me down. Absence is the best thing to have, and a lot of people need to work on that. But I gotta go, y'all. I only do 1 hour, and I gotta go. We'll finish this. I do a part 2 on this. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be loved, kind to one another, and work on this. Because the heart is wicked. Who can know it but God? So stop following your heart. Lean on the understanding of God, Holy Spirit, Jesus the Christ. If you don't like them, I suggest you start because your life is going to be a miserable tornado in your world. And I call this your world. This your world. Get this together. The mental is the new sexy. That mental, now I'm not going to tell you I don't still have, I have, now I know what PTSD is. I have that too. When I'm telling you, I research bad, and I have a lot of triggers because I went through a lot of things. But we'll continue this tomorrow. Y'all be blessed. If Lord's willing, tomorrow we'll continue this. I don't know because my life is very unpredictable. I don't know what'll happen tomorrow. So if I see y'all tomorrow around about 9 or 10, I'll schedule it. If I don't come up here, I love you. If I do, I love you even more. Okay, y'all have a great night. See ya.